A former reality TV star is now in police custody tonight for allegedly molesting a 9-year-old girl back in 2020. Joseph Duggar starred on that TLC reality show 19 Kids and Counting as a kid. You remember the show followed this conservative Christian family with 19 children. Well, now Duggar is accused of touching a girl inappropriately during a family vacation to Florida when he was about 26. Reps for the Duggar family and TLC did not respond to our request for comment, but officials say that Duggar admitted to the allegations to the victim's father and to investigators in Arkansas where he was arrested. This is not the first allegation against the Duggar family. TLC axed the show some years ago in 2015 after revelations that the oldest son, Josh, molested 5 children, including 4 of his sisters. He's in federal prison now, serving a 12-year sentence for possessing child sex abuse images. Jesse Kirsch is joining us now. What else do we know, Jesse, about how these accusations against Duggar came to light and what happens from here?
Yeah, Hallie, we don't know much, and that is, of course, because we are talking about an incident that involves a minor. We know that those cases often are more secretive in terms of what kinds of information gets out into the public domain to protect those children as much as you possibly can. And so the details are not out there in great amounts. But what I can tell you is that I spoke with someone from the sheriff's office earlier, what investigators say happened, according to an interview with this young girl in Florida's Panama City Beach back in 2020. I'm going to read from a statement put out by the sheriff's office in Bay County, Florida. Quote, the victim reported Duggar repeatedly asked her to sit on his lap as the vacation continued. He also asked her to sit next to him on a couch and covered them with a blanket. During this time, Duggar manipulated the victim's underwear and grazed her genitals. And we do have information on the 2 charges he now faces. I believe we can put that up on screen, speaking to what he is facing now. But bottom line, what we're talking about here, and that is what it is, right, in the legalese. But what we're talking about here is someone who's being accused of molesting and sexually assaulting a 9-year-old girl at the time, who was now 14 years old. I asked the sheriff's office if they could give any detail on the extent of the relationship between these two, what their connection is between the suspect and the alleged victim here, and the sheriff's office would not go into that detail. Again, we're talking about a situation involving a child. They're trying to protect that child and this victim, as they say, is identity.
And it is yet another just horrifically disturbing allegation involving a member of the Duggar family, a family that was, I don't know if people remember, Jesse, but they were like such a sort of a huge phenomenon. They're part of this sort of cultural moment back in, you know, I guess the 2010s when the show was out, when it was on TV, et cetera.
Yeah, and as you alluded to, this is not the first time that this family has been caught in this kind of controversy. You talk about Josh Duggar. He is the older brother of Joseph Duggar, and he is in behind bars right now, as you said, in the middle of a federal sentence. Important to note, those allegations of him molesting 5 children, including 4 of his sisters, never led to charges, but he is, as you mentioned, in prison right now because he's been convicted of receiving and possessing child sex abuse images. So this is a situation where this family is dealing with something in the same very disturbing realm once again. And I did ask investigators if they are looking at that past investigation moving forward with this one, and no specifics on that front necessarily at this point. But certainly, Hallie, more questions to be answered here.
Jesse Kirsch, thank you very much for covering that one for us tonight. Appreciate it.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.